Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And we're here to introduce ourselves and tell you why you should listen to us. There are a lot of people out there telling you a lot of different things, and you can pick up a lot of good tips from them. I've picked up many things from them. But nobody can tell you everything, and we can't either. I've been on eBay for many years, as has Mr. Magazine. When did you first get on there?
Oh, it's got to be 20 years ago at least.
And I know I've got over 50,000 positives. How about you?
I got about 160,000 positives.
Nice. Someday I'll be there. And I've got, between eBay and Amazon, I've got, 30,000 items, 35,000 items. How about you?
I'm hovering around 500,000 items at this point between both platforms.
Now, I don't know about you, but I work out of my house.
And I have a warehouse with about 10 employees.
Oh, well, I usually go to estate sales, things like that, to find stuff.
I have people all over the country that find warehouses going out of business, stores going out of business, and so forth.
I've got a day job.
My day job is eBay and Amazon and a couple of retail stores.
So basically, we do things two different ways, but we both make a pretty good living at doing what we do. And that's why you need to watch us. So, Mr. Magazine, how'd you get into this?
I've been a collector pretty much my whole life. My father had a toy shop, a collectible store, a video shop, and record shop over the years, and he was a collector. I was a collector, and my favorite things to collect are Spider-Man, Star Wars, and Batman items. And how about you, Papergoy?
I'm glad you asked. So my father owns a comic store back in Cleveland, B&L Comics, if you want to check that one out. Him and my uncle owned that together. So I've been collecting baseball cards since I was about 5 years old, comic books and all that sort of thing, went to flea markets growing up and everything. And then when eBay hit, I decided, we'll try it over here on the side a little bit, and started. I remember the first thing I sold on there were some Shaquille O'Neal insert cards for $10 a piece. I was so excited when they sold, and it all started from there. And now I've got plenty of things listed and plenty things left to list. So, Mr. Magazine, what do you think we're going to do on this channel?
Hopefully, we're going to teach our followers some secret tips on how to make money, grow their business like we have. How about you?
Yeah, I think probably education and entertainment, maybe edutainment, for lack of a better word. And the nice thing about it is we'll be doing it from two different perspectives. I know I've got a fair number of haul videos I'm planning on putting out there, where I go out to various places, flea markets when the season starts, estate sales, things like that, give you some tips on what to look for at estate sales. Mr. Magazine here has a lot of people coming in and selling them things, and what he'll be doing is, with their permission, be recording some of them, some of the interactions, and how you deal with people. There's always things to buy, but one of the big things is what you pay for them. You have to pay the right price for stuff. You want to pay fair. That way people continue to come back to you and will use you and recommend you to other people, because everybody knows other people that have a lot more things that can come to you.
So for me, we've had the store since I was born 40 years ago. My dad had the shop. I've been running it myself for the last 12 years or so. But we get people daily, word of mouth. I do some advertising. I still use a phone book. I still do online advertising to get people in the door. I want to buy what they have to sell, so I can sell it on eBay and Amazon. You got to be nice to these people. You got to appreciate what they bring in, even if it's something you don't want. Make them feel good, and so they keep coming back for more. Be very fair and honest, and that's how I've grown my business over the years.
I think another tip too is, especially if they're people that you're going to be dealing with regularly, there are times when they bring in things, and I hate to put it this way, but sometimes you almost do pity buys from them. They bring in things that really you have no need for, but you want them to keep coming back. You want them to think of you first. And a lot of times they understand that what they're bringing you isn't particularly good, but it's all they were able to find for the week. So then they sell it to you, and you purchase it from them almost as a favor to them. But they understand that, and then they continue to come back to you, and at some point they find some better things. And so it kind of works out. The last thing you want to do is continually tell them no, because if you don't keep buying from them, they'll find somebody else who will buy from them.
Yeah, look at it this way. Even if I break even on the pity buys, they're not going anywhere else, and two, they're going to keep coming to me anytime they come up with something good to sell.
And for those of you who don't have a retail store, I'm going to teach you a lot of different ways to find things to purchase. Be that flea markets. Is there a local flea market? How do you find out? I'm going to tell you about antique shows, going to tell you about antique stores, going to tell you about estate sales, going to tell you about all that sort of thing. Church sales are a great place, library sales. There are a lot of different places people are selling, garage sales, yard sales, just a lot of different places. But where do you possibly find them all? In the old days, it was easy. You picked up the newspaper, you went in the classifieds. Now, pretty much nobody advertises in the classifieds except a couple of antique dealers looking to buy. But as far as you go out and buy things, they're not out there through the classifieds. So you have to know how to find them. Public auction, that's another great place to find. And for example, up here in Rochester, we don't really have that many good public auctions anymore. 15, 20 years ago when I started, there were a lot of public auctions around here. There were 3, 4 really good auctioneers, always getting good estates. And now I notice that I walk into estate sales and I shake my head saying, years ago, this would have been a public auction. One of the advantages of public auctions, to kind of take the lid off that, is you end up buying things that you are way outside your expertise because you're getting them priced right. You say, let me take a chance. Whereas if you're in an estate sale and everything is priced up, you're less likely to do that. In other words, they've got ceramics, which I don't deal in. They've got them priced up at $1 a piece. I'm probably not going to buy them because I don't know the first thing about them. But if you're able to get a big box of ceramics for $2 at the end of an auction, why not buy it and give it a try? And a lot of times, you just pick up things and you learn that way. Let me ask one other quick question. What do you specialize in, Mr. Magazine?
Besides magazines, I also deal in record albums, comic books, regular books, toys, action figures, autographs, sports memorabilia, and it goes on and on. But I'll actually buy almost anything if I can research it on eBay before I purchase it. So if someone brings in an accordion and I don't know the first thing about it, I'll look up the brand, the model, and see what it sells for on eBay, and then I'll make them a fair offer, even though I don't deal in accordions. As long as I know I can make some money on it, I'm all for that.
And that's actually another thing that we will teach you as well, is how to research the values of various things, because research is important in the areas that are outside of what you know. If it's things that you know, you don't have to research it nearly as much, and after you've been dealing with things for a while, you just get a feel for things. Like, for example, record albums, you see a label, you've never had that artist before, but you know that's a good label. That sort of thing. You just get a feeling for the era, you get a feeling for the paper things are. You can tell it was quality back in the day, all that sort of thing. Magazines, same deal, certain titles, certain this, certain that. You don't even have to research them. Another thing that we will tell you about as time goes on is things to watch out for. Certain magazines are prone to having things cut out of them. You need to know that before you go out and invest a lot of money in it, and then you get home and you find out you bought 2/3 of a magazine at full price, because you can't sell it for full price at that moment. Now, my name on eBay is Papergoy, and I pretty much deal in paper items. Other than stamps, I don't really deal much in stamps, but otherwise I deal in paper items, be that brochures, be that maps, be that magazines, be that books, comic books, etc., ephemera, all that sort of thing. That's what I know, but I am willing to venture outside of it if the price is right at the sale. I will take a chance on things. I'm certainly not going to go invest hundreds of dollars in something that I don't know about. Would certainly invest hundreds of dollars in a comic book or a magazine collection or that sort of thing, because that is what I know. But willing to take chances outside of my comfort zone. And that's one thing, or another thing that we're going to teach you. You're coming to this selling what it is that you sell. Or perhaps you're coming here selling absolutely nothing. Take a chance. As long as the price is right, take a chance. Look at it this way. If you spend $5 on a collection of calculators, the most you can lose is $5. And you learn. And then that's really what it all comes down to, knowledge. And then you'll know more than the next person at whatever sale you're at, and you'll be able to make some. So when it comes time to packing things up, how do you guys do it?
Well, I got a small crew of a few people, depending on what the items are. Everyone has their niche on what they like to pack. We have to make sure we have all the supplies in order, pack everything correctly with proper cardboard. Everything gets sleeved, wrapped up so it doesn't get wet in transit.
Sometime or other we'll have to do a tour of the packing room.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to look over the years. We've gotten better at what tools we need to make sure we efficiently pack everything.
No, that's definitely another thing that we're going to tell you as time goes on, the supplies that you need. Because depending on what you sell, you save a lot of time if you have the proper supplies. And a lot of people, especially when they start out, they try cutting corners on things. They don't have the right things. And it just doesn't look professional, and it doesn't protect the item, and that's very, very important. How many times when we first started sending things out, like for example, we would be using paper envelopes, which was terrible during the wintertime, because if the mailman left it somewhere or it fell somewhere, the envelope got wet. Thank goodness we put it in a bag inside. But these are all the sort of things that people don't think about. I've received things throughout the years that I've looked at and said, very, very lucky it even got to me safely. I mean, people will just take a comic book and throw it in an envelope. Literally no backing, no protection whatsoever. And if it had just gotten wet one time, it would have been worthless versus what I paid for it. So we're going to teach you all that kind of thing. And over time, we're going to teach you where you buy that sort of thing at. Some local distributors sell boxes, some local distributors sell bags, some of the stuff you can find on the internet. Uline, a lot of people use Uline. So we'll teach you all that various things. And we're even going to teach you how to buy these gigantic stadium seats that we have behind us.
So comfortable.
They're very, very nice.